In this video I'm going to be showing you how to work Judy's Magic Cast-On, which is a great cast-on for starting toe-up socks. To start, you need a circular needle, or one long one, or two circular needles, because you need the cable to provide slack to knit the stitches to begin with. You will hold your needle or needles with two tips together like so. You'll hold your yarn in the slingshot position, just like working a long tail cast on, with the tail coming down to over the thumb towards the body, and the working yarn going away from the body over the index finger. To start, you need to anchor your yarn. So to do this, I like to do a move, which is how I start my long tail cast on. I'll use the top needle, and I'm going to go in, and pull it away and twist. And I have my first stitch on my top needle. I'm going to hold that with my finger so that it doesn't go anywhere. And now I'm going to start the Judy's Magic Cast-On, and since I have a stitch on my top needle, I now need a stitch on my bottom needle. The bottom needle will pick up stitches from the index finger strand. The top needle will pick up stitches from the thumb strand. This is a different move than the long tail cast-on. So other than the way you're holding your yarn, this is not the same movements. So to get a stitch on my bottom needle, I will pivot up and I will catch from top down. I will catch that top strand. So now I have a stitch on my bottom needle. Now I need a stitch on my top needle. Top needle gets its stitch from the bottom strand. You pivot your needles down, and instead of catching from the bottom up, in order to keep the stitches not twisted, you will catch in between and lift it on. Buster, get. Now I have two stitches, and my bottom needle needs another stitch, so I will pivot up and catch from top to bottom. And then the top needle, now I will pivot down, go in between those two stitches, and pivot up. And so on. Bottom needle needs a stitch, top needle needs a stitch, bottom needle needs a stitch, and top needle needs a stitch, bottom needle needs a stitch. Until you have an even number of stitches on both needles. I do here, I have 5 on top and 5 on bottom. Then to begin working, you want to pull this tail up to anchor the working yarn, and pinch that with your finger, and then pivot the entire thing clockwise, and then pull the bottom needle out to begin using it. That relaxes these bottom stitches, gives you enough slack to begin working them, and hold that tail thread down to anchor that stitch and begin knitting. Those top stitches across. Then cable is a big mess. Then to work the other half, you pivot clockwise again. I like to pull the bottom needle out first before pulling the top needle in to get it ready to knit with. So now I have slack in those stitches, and these stitches are not twisted, and I can work across. And then for toe up socks, you will begin making your increases. And this is what the back looks like. There's no discernible start. It blends right in. That's one of the beauties of Judy's Magic Cast On. It looks like a row of purl stitches on the inside and like a row of knit stitches on the outside. And that's Judy's Magic Cast On.